Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of It's Not That Deep, bro. And we're back. Episode 36, hitting it hard. How you doing, Ølund?
Wow, I'm glad to be back, man. We've actually had a break, haven't we?
We have a week break.
Yeah, we've took a week off recording. We record these ahead of time, so we're quite a way ahead of what you guys are currently listening to. But this week we have taken a break, and it feels good to be back, doesn't it, Martin?
It does. It does. I've
How have you
thinking
been?
about this quite a lot.
Oh wow!
What film are we gonna watch? What's the Randy Master 5000 got for us this
Well,
week?
let's just do it.
Should we just go straight in?
I think you should do the countdown.
No. Okay.
I just feel like it,
Fair enough.
Go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the film we're watching this week is 1948, The Bicycle Thieves.
The Bicycle Thieves.
That's all I know, man. I just know the name. I guess I do know that this film is meant to be really good.
How long is it?
It's an hour and 29 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
We'll give you a director afterwards. Go find yourself The Bicycle Thieves, and we will see you on the other side.
Peace out.
It's not that deep, bro. It's not that
Hello, we are back after watching Bicycle Thieves.
The Bicycle Thieves, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is that film? What the fuck is that film?
What did you think of that film?
It was good, but the climax at the end is just what?
That film was...
He saw it, bro. He saw. You know what?
Hang on, what do you mean he saw it?
I'ma let you. He saw it in the town in the rain in that market. Somebody was putting it on, and he looked at it, and then he was like, 'cause it
What,
was
at the
raining.
end? At the
No.
end?
In the middle bit. When they were at that market and it was raining.
Yeah, I remember the rain in the market.
Yeah, he's like, you can even see in the camera, the seat was all fucked up. Like he had it before.
And what happened to it?
Some guy put it in like this thing to cover it up.
Hang on, there you go. Cover it up? What do you mean cover it up?
Cover it up because I guess he was selling it because it was at the market. Somebody must have sold it to him.
And sold it to who?
What? So the guy who stole it must have sold it to him.
Sold it to that guy at the market.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to see if that's accurate, what you're saying there, because that seems ludicrous for him to have not then gone and bought the bike or at least spoke to the man.
Yeah, because it
Well,
was raining. I think he sort of thought that he could have been like the bike.
Because
it
it's
didn't
kind of
look like
like hard to tell what bike was which because the film's in black and white. You know what I mean?
you could tell by the seat. That's how I saw it.
But I was struggling to tell what was going on with the bikes and stuff just because it was in black and white and there's no color and you can't obviously you
But
can tell by the shape of things. But I
Yeah.
feel like that would have been a odd story thing to do if you know what I mean? For him to see it and not.
It was because of the rain.
Okay.
Because it was sort of like, look how much rain there was. And obviously somebody was selling it, but because the rain came, he had to leave, so he put it on top of this like I don't know,
But
4-wheel thing that took it in.
we're missing the entirety of the point here.
Right?
Well,
What's the
I
point?
mean, not the point. We've not spoke about what this film is or anything. We've just dived straight into.
That's look. That's us now because
Well,
we're in it. They know what's happening. Okay.
I guess, but
Our listeners know
I feel
what's happening.
like we should speak about. Okay. Even if he did see the bike in the middle,
Yeah.
you said what the ending.
Yeah.
That's real life, man,
I know it's real life.
and
I
that's
know.
I guess.
Yeah, but not now.
That film.
Not now.
Well, that film is a slice of life, and you get
At that age.
and you get. Well, just hang on.
Okay,
I'm going.
all right.
I'm going against that. I'm saying
Okay.
that it's a slice of life for today, on a moral basis, not how it
Okay.
looks.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
But you definitely get a slice of. It's 1948, so one of the first things I thought when we started watching it was like, why is there just like barren wasteland like behind him? Like there's buildings and then there's just like rubble and like, but then it's like post World War II.
Yeah.
So like everything's like buggered, basically. Which,
And everyone works, even the kids.
yeah, everyone's working. There's so many parts of this film that depend on it being 1948 in Italy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you said it whilst we were watching it, and I was thinking it all the way through.
They fucking love bikes, bro. They
Well,
love bikes.
It shows the importance of the bicycle
Yeah.
and how important.
Bicycles at that age, it
Meant a lot.
Oh, mate. It
Because-
was like
Well, it's your mode of transport. That's how he works.
better than sliced bread, bro. That's how like bikes work.
He can't have sliced bread if he doesn't have a bike.
That's it.
So
Even better than that. So
that was really interesting to see. And then you've got the way that he treats like his child, I guess, or just children are represented in this film.
well, I feel like that's more of like not even just how he treats his child, but more of the fact like how men were in the 50s. Because even he treats his wife or whatever she is, that way as well. When
yeah.
when he goes up to, well, when she goes up to pay respect,
The fortune teller.
for the fortune teller.
Mm.
Yeah, so like, and then he treated her like, oh, I'm the man, just get here, or like, I'll beat you up, I guess.
There was that tone to a lot of it, and it did get me thinking about like the I don't know, what it is to be a man in that era and what it is to be a man now, sort of thing. And I kept wondering if there was going to be some like redemption for him. Like when he went to see the fortune teller, I was like, oh, he's had to eat his own words now, and he's at the
Yeah.
fortune teller. And then when after like hitting his son and getting frustrated, I was thinking, oh, is this all gonna turn round in some way where he learns his lesson? And that is why I think this film is like a slice of real how life works with its ending, because not everything works out in a fairy tale kind of way,
No, of course not.
which
But some things do. I mean, if we're talking about the concept of the film, obviously that wouldn't matter right now, because at 2021, somebody saw your bike. That
Well,
could get
it-
back
if the film was
now.
yeah, but if the film was being done in 2021, it would have a theme that would set that situation up of something that you needed to work had been lost.
Yeah.
That's all the film relies on. The fact that it's a bike is purely of its era, sort of thing. Like bikes were just incredibly important back then, but to put it in another era, you'd have to change what was stolen, definitely. But then the
100%.
moral could still remain the same, sort of thing. And it really made me laugh. I was really
The way that he didn't apologize as well. Like every time he did something wrong, you're like,
well. That's what I mean. Yeah, there was
It's-
no redemption
no,
for him.
yeah, it was like it's how men would be at that sort of era. They're like, I don't need to apologize. Everything I do, it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when he pulled her away from the fortune teller,
Yeah.
he said like she didn't. His wife said she said that you'd find work within a week, and as he was pulling her down the stairs, he said, "I didn't get that bike. She didn't get that bike for me. I got that bike. I worked for it. I got this job."
Yeah.
So he completely undermined the fortune teller to begin with, like completely.
Took her out of the equation.
Yeah, she's not, a valid source of information.
Even though she was right. So
She was, and then by the end,
he fucking goes in with his fucking tail between his legs.
well, it kind of shows where he's kind of like at a point of insanity for his character by that point, because the fortune teller just says logic to him. She just says, "Well, you're gonna find it this morning, or it's gone." I really like just how there's an innocence around films like this that I really like. There's a certain, I don't know, it's familiar. People are acting in ways that you've seen humans act before, so it's not completely alien, but the whole world is obviously so far back in time that a lot is different, but it's still coherent. There's a lot of old films that you can watch and you're like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand why people are doing things, like the motivations of people, because cultures change and stuff's happening. But this film, there was enough heart and human emotion in it for it to kind of probably be watchable at any time in human history, maybe.
If people can find a message.
Yeah.
That's trying to say. Because
It's
if
like
somebody just decided to watch this
mm,
and didn't really think about anything that they consume, as in from the media or TV, then they would just watch this and they'll be like, "Oh, it's just an old movie about somebody's bike getting stolen and they're not getting it back."
well, that is what it is.
Yeah, that is what it is. But the whole emotional value that it has behind it, it's a lot
Well,
more true to a sense of oh, I could relate to this.
you can relate to it. And I think it's interesting how a film in 1948 is kind of, because this is the same era that Pinocchio and Snow White and a lot of these fairy tales, the film industry was still quite early on in its infancy, and this film is already kind of doing. I guess this film is considered one of the best films ever because at an early stage, it's doing the anti happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, if cinema's meant to show fantasy, this film showed real life, and it was probably one of the first ones to do, you know what I mean, pull a move like that. Audiences would have probably been expecting some sort of happy. When You Wish Upon a Star was made around the same. That whole idea of the happy ending was born in this era. So for a film to I bet this was seen as really risky back in the day.
So it's the best film ever because
No,
it has the
for well, it's
different ending to what
it's
normally
on a lot of lists that have that sort of title. Not as number one, but it's always within the top, or top 50 or whatever. It's in the conversation, sort of thing.
Why though?
And because
Just because of the message,
you've got to factor in the time for when it came out and what was happening.
I mean,
It presented the world that was going.
I mean, it was a very good. If they showed that, it was quite well filmed.
I was gonna say it looked wonderful.
It looked like all one shot.
We might have to watch some other stuff from this era for you to appreciate how good that probably was. Because
I bet there's some bad stuff.
yeah, a lot of stuff from this era is not relatable in any way, and it's difficult to watch. Whereas this,
it was quite easy.
there's enough there that is enough human emotion and heart for it to kind of be watchable and today, which going on nearly 100 years, that's pretty impressive, you know.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I just wonder whether, I don't know, film gets riskier as time goes on, or
What do you mean?
well, you've got to take into account when this film came out how risky that would have been.
To have an unhappy ending.
Yeah, to end it like, because that would have made people sad. Like to go to there's a line in the film that I've just thought of. The taxi driver says when he sees the guy on the bike in the market, he gets in a taxi, doesn't he? Or like holds on to the side of it. And the guy in the taxi is like making small talk to him, and he says like, what's he saying? He's saying about how he only gets a day off on a Sunday, but nothing's open. So what's the point in having a day off? That's what he's saying. He's like, well, I go to the movies, but yeah, I don't like them, you know.
That's not the taxi.
Is that not a taxi? Who is that?
That's like his friend.
Is that his friend when they're going to the market
Yeah.
to look in the
And
team?
he goes, oh, take him to the other market. He's like, oh, what do I have to? And then he just takes him.
Yeah, but that line about the movie not liking going to the movies sort of thing might be a little nod to the ending that was coming sort of thing, because it's not playing into the whole cinema thing, which again that's like a very small little link there, but again it's 1948, so that it's pretty mad that this level of awareness, though, like I don't think there was a lot of awareness in like directing, like watching the Ed Wood films. Think about that. That's only like 10, 15 years after this.
Yeah.
Ed Wood was making films, and some of his films were like way less detailed and like in its emotional scope than this was.
Because they just try to be horror. They just try to be like, I'm trying to scare you.
Yeah, and then like I would hazard a guess that Orson Welles would be very aware of this film that we just watched and would be a big fan. It's over that side of the spectrum.
Yeah, that's probably one of these like films that you went to watch as a kid and was like, oh my god, I need to make films.
Yeah, probably. And again, this film's on lists of like famous directors' famous favorite films. I've seen it on like Martin Scorsese's, and I think David Lynch speaks about it. I think even Frank Ocean I've seen talk about this film.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean's got this book. When he released Blonde, the album, it was going to be called Boys Don't Cry. That was the rumor building up to Blonde. And that never happened. But what did happen is he released a load of books. I can't exactly remember how it went down. They were like half magazine, half books, kind of like coffee table books, that each one was unique. Or there was like so many different ones. It was mad, and they're like so rare now. They came in like this silver foil packaging, and some people have them unopened in the silver foil, and that is like big time money you're talking there. Over 10 grand, I reckon, for one of them.
Did they not sell them anymore?
No, there wasn't many of them. They appeared in like pop-up shops, and there was only like 100 at each shop. It was like really exclusive, and in these
How many books did he have?
it's like one book that's just different front covers, basically, for these books. And
How many different front covers there?
I think it's a lot, like 30, 50, 60, that sort of thing.
60.
I think they're like unique.
So
Each one is unique.
in what way? Just because of the
Just front cover, yeah.
but not what the content is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look into this again, but long story short, the PDF's online. So unless you're like a person that wants the physical thing to like have or show off or whatever, I'm easy just reading the PDF. And the book itself is actually really interesting because it's like, I don't know, Kanye's got a poem in there that he wrote for it, and it's all about McDonald's.
What does it say?
It's like, let me try and find it quickly because it is it is an amusing poem. If I just type in Kanye Frank McDonald's poem, I'm sure I will get. Yeah, here we are. Kanye West writes poem about McDonald's for Frank Ocean's Boys Don't Cry magazine. McDonald's man. The French fries had a plan. The French fries had a plan. The salad bar and the ketchup made a band, 'cause the French fries had a plan. The French fries had a plan. McDonald's, man. McDonald's. I know the French fries have a plan. I know them French fries have a plan. The cheeseburger and the shakes formed a band to overthrow the French fries plan. I always knew them French fries was evil, man. Smelling all good and shit. I don't trust no food that smells that good, man. I don't trust it. I just can't. McDonald's, man. McDonald's, man. McDonald's, man. Them French fries look good, though. I knew the Diet Coke was jealous of the fries. I knew the McNugget was jealous of the fries. Even the McRib was jealous of the fries. I could see it through his artificial meat eyes. And he only be there some of the time. Everybody was jealous of them French fries. Except for that one special guy. That smooth apple pie. Yeah.
So,
that's Kanye's.
Kanye's fucking crazy.
That's Kanye's contribution. But my point is that in that book is like lists of Frank Ocean's favorite albums, all sorts of favorite different things. And his favorite films are in there. And it's like this big, it's like his 100 top films. And this is definitely on that list.
Do you know what number?
I don't know if the list is ordered like that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like a number one is the best sort of thing, or if it's just like 100 films that he vibes with sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a human tale. It kind of reminded me of like Eraserhead, but it's only because Eraserhead, Lynch would have grown up in like this era. So like where the style of it, like the black and white, and this was post-war where all the buildings were like demolished, and in Eraserhead he tries to like make a world that looks demolished.
Yeah. And I mean, they both succeeded.
And I was trying to think about, did you find like there were parts of this film that were like depressing?
Yeah.
And
all the like, you see all the like people trying to get water, and the way that they like walked around with two massive like jugs of water all the way around, and you could see them struggling and stuff, you know.
Which is, it just made me think
Crazy.
about how life must have been, was harder back then, basically. Which is always like, I wonder if this film was just shot like on the street, like in life.
Probably.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because to like to set that up, the scenes that we just saw with like actors and a set, seems bonkers, man. Seems like very difficult to do. It seems literally like they were just filming in like a market. But I don't know how filmmaking went down in 1948. I was thinking about like the rain scenes. What was the camera technology like back then? Because I know on film sets they'd like pour water from above out of like.
Yeah, that's what they did when they were in the car.
The car scenes, they were like,
because you could see
simulated.
them, you could see them on the fucking the rain coming on the windshield, but you couldn't see it like on the screen.
That's funny.
And you're like, what?
Primitive special effects.
Yeah.
But then there were certain scenes where it was raining, and I did kind of believe that it was real rain
Yeah.
to an extent.
Mhm.
So as I say with quite a few films, this is definitely a film that I'm gonna go and look into, like the making of it and how, if it was a production or what the budget was. You know what I mean? What the situation was. It
What
raised.
was the budget? Look it up.
Yeah, we can check that. I've not even like name dropped the director. I should probably do that. That poet, man. I was
That
like,
sweet apple pie.
yeah, I was getting bored until I saw that last line, and then I was like, oh, okay, he's coming through. Vittorio De Caesar is how I would attempt to say that name. Directed this film. Neo-realist.
He's a neo-realist.
Well, that's what that film is considered, a neo-realist film. Neo-realism, also known as the Golden Age, is a national film movement characterized by stories set amongst the poor and working class, filmed on location, frequently using non-professional actors. Italian neorealism films mostly contend with difficult economic and moral conditions of post-World War II Italy, representing changes in the Italian psyche and the conditions of everyday life, including poverty, oppression, and injustice and desperation. I feel like we hit those bullet points pretty damn well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we identified like
Most of the
all of that.
Yeah.
And I can probably say that I'm a fan of Italian neorealist cinema now.
The Golden Age, you mean?
The Golden Age.
Just called it the Golden Age.
So, right, the official situation on the budget is that this film cost $81,000 or $133,000. That's just what it says.
That's how much it made.
No. That's what the budget was. $81,000 or $133,000.
What do you mean, or? Like,
That's just what it says, man.
It's either one or the other.
Look.
What's that?
It says citation needed, which means there's no source for that information.
That's probably because
The
it's 1958.
48.
48! I don't know
Wow.
why I keep saying 58.
Wow. I'm just seeing in the production if there's a... No, there's not even any sort of reference to that. I'll message you probably late into the night at some point, and I'll just be like, the budget was this. It'll be like a week from now.
Fair enough.
I'll find that information. Yeah, Martin Scorsese says this is one of the 39 foreign films he'd recommend.
39 foreign films?
Yeah, he's got a list apparently. I've never heard of any of these other... apart from I have heard of Ken Loach. What did Ken Loach make? Anyway, I'm getting into what I'm going to do when I go to bed now.
What are your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts would be that it's easy to dismiss a film when you see the words 1948 next to its title. And that's probably a smart move because there was a lot of cinema made and always has been. But I highly recommend that if you have the time, you watch The Bicycle Thieves because it is still a story that resonates with the human condition to this day, in my opinion. What are your closing thoughts, Martin?
Italy really loves bicycles, bro. That's my closing thoughts. And I've been there many times, but
I think everyone...
I've not really seen the bicycle game. Although there is a lot of like places you can put bicycles there.
Denmark got hella bicycles.
I know.
We saw a lot there.
Yeah.
Amsterdam have a lot of bicycles.
Yeah. These like
European places, they love their
European
bikes.
countries. Yeah.
I think
that's why they switched to fucking
scooters.
scooters, yeah.
I think the better statement would be the world relied more on bicycles back then.
Yeah. I mean there were a lot of cars, but you couldn't really afford.
Yeah, there wasn't that many cars to
there
be
wasn't
fair.
there wasn't that well, that's probably because there weren't that many jobs.
It was like a working class area.
Yeah.
So only a few You only saw a few cars in this film.
A few selected ones, like taxis.
But yeah, it's kind of short. It's sweet. It's inoffensive. Well, I hesitate when I say it's inoffensive. It may offend you a little bit. I think this film's like a U, but it's definitely cut from the time period that it came from.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's a thumbs up in my book.
I did like it. Yeah, it's I'll give it a 5 out of 3.
I like that rating system. I like that rating system. It's ambiguous. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to It's Not That Deep. We've come to the end of another episode.
That's right. Follow us on the usual social medias. You know, Instagram.
MIP LTD. That's just what you got to type
That's
in
right.
to see thee.
All right, I like what you did there. You know, catch us on Twitter, Apple Music, Spotify. You know that website. It's just mipltd.org. Hit us up there. Tell us in the comments what you thought about the film. Did you watch it? Are you gonna watch it now? Tell us all.
I'm lonely, so like speak to me.
Okay.
Please.
All right. I try not to speak to him too much. Just when I'm doing a podcast, really.
It's probably better that way. Thank you very much, people.